Yeah, one of the biggest stories around the world now is coming from the United States. The U.S. Senate has approved a compromise that would end the longest government shutdown in that country's history, breaking a weeks-long stalemate that has disrupted food benefits for millions, left hundreds of thousands of federal workers unpaid, and snared air traffic. The 60-40 votes passed with the support of nearly all of the chamber's Republicans and 8 Democrats who unsuccessfully sought to tie government funding to health subsidies that are due to expire at the end of the year, while the agreement sets up a December vote on those subsidies, which benefit 24 million Americans. It does not guarantee that they will continue. The deal will restore funding for federal agencies that lawmakers allowed to expire on October 1 and would stall President Donald Trump's campaign to downsize the federal workforce, preventing any layoffs until January 30. It next heads to the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, where Speaker Mike Johnson has said that he would like to pass it as soon as Wednesday and send it on to Trump to sign into law. Trump has called the deal to reopen the government very good. The deal would extend funding through January 30, leaving the federal government for now on a path to keep adding about $1.8 trillion a year to its $38 trillion in debt, coming a week after Democrats won high-profile elections in New Jersey, Virginia, and elected a Democratic Socialist as the next mayor of New York City. The deal has provoked anger among many Democrats who note that there's no guarantee that the Republican-controlled Senate or House would agree to extend the health insurance subsidies. And the top U.S. consumer watchdog has said that it was legally prohibited from drawing cash from the Federal Reserve to support continuing operations, but that its current funding should last through the end of this year, at least. The U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has declined funding since President Donald Trump took control in February, with Trump and acting director Russell Watt having called for the agency's elimination. Its workforce faces mounting uncertainty over the CFPB's ability to continue to pay them or offer severance, while a legal battle plays out over the Trump administration's plans to fire the vast majority of staff. In a statement, the agency said that the administration's legal opinion held that because the Federal Reserve System was not currently reporting combined earnings under the 2010 statute, which created the CFPB, the agency could not lawfully draw funding from the central bank. The CFPB receives its funding directly from the Federal Reserve, unlike federal agencies for which Congress appropriates money annually. And now Thailand has suspended a peace process with Cambodia agreed last month alongside U.S. President Donald Trump after Thai soldiers were injured by landmines along their border. All terms in the joint declaration will be suspended, and the plan to release Cambodian detainees will be terminated, according to Defense Minister. And after a meeting of the National Security Council, his comments echo Prime Minister's comment on the issue, which he shared yesterday. The safe haven yen hit its lowest since February on Tuesday, while riskier currencies were firm against the dollar. Traders anticipate an end to the long U.S. government shutdown. The yen remained under pressure, however, as Japan's new prime minister has called for policymakers to go slow on interest rate hikes at the same time as U.S. policymakers have turned cautious on further cuts. The euro was steady at 1.155, and sterling has been creeping higher, 1.3165, and the U.S. Senate, we know, passed that deal yesterday that's supposed to restore activities of the U.S. government. Now, Japan's 3 largest banking groups are expected to post healthy second quarter earnings on Friday, staying on track for record annual profit forecasts for this financial year. And despite geopolitical uncertainty and a dovish new Japanese prime minister, a strong showing would add to evidence that Mitsubishi Financial Group, Sumitomo Financial Group, and others are capable of riding global volatility and that capitalize on growing loan demand from large Japanese companies as the country exits deflation. Nearby China, China is making it harder for some state-owned companies to borrow overseas, expanding a campaign to rein in local government debt risks, according to people who are close to the local government. Well, the National Development and Reform Commission, China's top economic planning agency, has in recent weeks set tighter criteria, including those for profitability and business scope for regional level state-owned enterprises to get additional offshore debt quotas for this year. Still staying in China, the country is willing to resume exchanges with Canada and cooperate in various fields, according to its foreign minister. He said this to the Canadian counterparts without specifying the sectors. And then Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that China is willing to strengthen communication with Canada, adding that the diplomatic, commercial, and other departments of both countries could enhance coordination and properly address their respective concerns.